What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Wise Infinity, coming to you today with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about my theory, my One Piece theory, my One Piece wa. With the information we've been getting so far, I believe that I have a pretty good theory on what's going to happen in the show. I am a connoisseur of good storytelling, of stories in general, and usually I can kind of predict where a story is going. Now, with One Piece, it's very hard for a lot of people to be able to predict what's going to happen. But I believe we're going to get a very... it's right there. I'm going to be showing you guys today in this video what it is. The theory is Blackbeard is most likely going to absorb IMU, and why that makes sense. So, to, make this video not that long and make it as simple and short as possible, the reason why Blackbeard is gonna, absorb IMU is because Blackbeard's too weak. He's just too weak. Compared to Luffy, it makes no sense for Blackbeard to even try to go for the One Piece. We know that the darkness fruit is a special fruit. It hasn't been told to us yet, much about it. We know that it's a special Logia, according to Blackbeard. Right? It doesn't work the same way as other Logias do. Other Logias, you become intangible, right? With the darkness fruit, you don't become intangible. And I think there's a reason for that. And I think either Blackbeard will awaken this fruit and potentially absorb IMU. I think it has a very specific quality of absorbing people. Potentially. Or absorbing anything. If you search up what a black hole does when it absorbs the sun, it ends up taking the energy of the sun itself. And one of Blackbeard's moves is Kurozu, black hole. So I believe there's a part to this darkness where we're going to get a infinity-like gravitational pull. This guy's going to be able to do anything. It makes sense. Why does it make sense for Blackbeard to absorb IMU? Again, he's too weak. But also, it's that Luffy's too strong. It won't be a fair fight. Everybody in Luffy's crew looks to be as strong, if not stronger, than the entire Blackbeard crew besides Aokiji. I mean, you could argue Aokiji will probably be fought by either Zoro or Sanji. Or maybe somebody else. Maybe it could be fucking Loki. I don't know. Whoever decides to join. But it's possible that this crew of Blackbeards is probably just very weak. And Blackbeard himself is just very weak to Luffy. Especially now that they're fighting IMU. I see Luffy only benefiting from whatever troubles are about to come. It doesn't really feel like Luffy is still, behind Blackbeard. It's kind of always felt like Luffy was above Blackbeard once the post-time skip. Maybe you could argue he was still stronger than Luffy, but once Gear 4th was revealed, it really doesn't look like Blackbeard is capable of fighting Luffy. One-to-one head-on doesn't really look that way. I don't know, maybe I could be very, very mistaken. I understand he has the power to negate Devil Fruits. But what happens when Haki strong enough can negate the darkness? Is that a possibility that could happen? And we do know Luffy's Haki has grown very, very high. To the point where it can compete with Kaido, a former Yonko. So, I ask you guys, does it really look like Blackbeard can fight Luffy right now? No, the answer is probably no. He looks just way too fucking weak. And the way you fix this is if he absorbs IMU. Or takes IMU's power. One of the two will happen. He will either absorb IMU or absorb IMU's power. He has taken Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. So it's possible that he maybe has a, I forget the guy's name. I'll probably show an image of him. Of a guy who can essentially take powers. Not by touching you, maybe by absorbing you. Potentially. Just like the black hole that absorbs the sun and then takes its hot energy and it wraps it around its, its spirals. So, I believe Luffy does actually have Toon Force. And it's stated before in the Harley that the world was destroyed 2 times before. So the only way this could be possible, and this would be a easy contradiction, how has the world been destroyed if the world is still here? Because the world was created again. I don't think it was Emu or Blackbeard. I don't think it was somebody else. I think it was potentially the person with the Nika Nika no Mi, or Joy Boy, or the first original Nika, whoever destroyed the world first. I believe it was one of them that had to recreate the world. Now, some people might say, well, it's Toon Force. Why would he be able to do this? Well, when you look at other shows like in Popeye, you see Popeye can literally survive the entire universe being destroyed and then tell God to make the universe anew, essentially. Recreate the universe. Or you see Bugs Bunny writing his own story, telling you what's going to happen. And then you see it happen, right? So what I'm trying to say is people who have this Toon Force-like power, they can pretty much do crazy things. And it would make sense if Luffy can pretty much gigantify himself as big as the entire planet and recreate it via whatever. He could take a rock. It could be done very easily, in fact, if Oda decides to go down this route. Some people might not like this, but if we're going to get into the levels of power where it's like Superman-like, cosmic-like, reality-bending-like, which I think the story has always had, it's just a lot of people aren't paying attention. What is a devil fruit? What is it? Is it something that is within their plane of existence? Well, according to Vegapunk, devil fruits come from other universes. So we're dealing with something that essentially is not of this world. It is beyond their dimension. And hence why I've always stated that devil fruits are on a concept-based kind of power, right? For an example, someone dreamed of being a jacket. What does that really mean? Well, that could mean the jacket keeps you warm. It could mean the jacket can make you look cool. Or in One Piece's case, it could mean that you take on the strength and power of the person who became the jacket and potentially become twice as strong. So my point is, this is just one small aspect, but if you look at all the powers in the world, in their verse, in the One Piece plane, their powers have always been crazy strong. It's just you're comparing it to the wide knowledge that you have of like Gojo's Infinity or Sukuna's, slicing ability that can slice through everything, or you're comparing it to all these broken powers in your head that you've seen from other anime, and you're thinking it's not that amazing. But if it was Luffy who was controlling some of these garbage-like powers, he'd probably be number one still, right? You have to understand, devil fruits are based off of one's own imagination. That has always been the trope, that's always been the thing. The believing in yourself kind of trope has always been a thing in the verse. It's just a lot of people don't talk about it because they want a lot of, they want it to be serious. They want it to be serious because they think that's good writing. A cartoon story can be good writing. It's just a lot of people don't prefer it. It's a preference. So back to what I mean when I say Luffy has Toon Force. Luffy has Toon Force because it just makes no sense how the world was destroyed 2 times before because of someone wielding this fruit. Or maybe it was the destruction between Emu and Joy Boy. But someone had to recreate it. I'm fine if it's like, let's say, Emu who recreated the world twice over. But then it also doesn't make sense that Emu's trying to destroy islands and like drown the entire planet with water. One thing I'd like to mention. Some of you might say, why am I interpreting destroying the planet 2 times over as hyper literal? Well, if you destroyed all of civilization, that's not really destroying the world. That's just killing all the people on the planet. And obviously that's not true because there are still people around. So for that to happen 2 times over, again, doesn't really make any sense because if you just killed all the people, why not say that? Why specifically choose the world was destroyed twice over? And I think it's very simple if you just say Toon Force. The answer is Toon Force. Toon Force can literally just solve this problem. Same thing with Popeye, flipping a switch, and then boom, the whole universe is back. That's Toon Force, guys. Toon Force can just do that. It doesn't need to be that complicated. It's just Toon Force. You're essentially a god. So you could pretty much just bend and form reality however you want. So you could pretty much just recreate the entire planet 2 times over. You could destroy it and recreate it with everybody still being there. That's how Toon Force works. Or you could just write your story. That's how Toon Force works. Same way how Bugs Bunny can write that he's always the hero or he always wins. Yeah, because he's writing the story, so therefore he could just write it into existence. Now, what does that mean for the people that are serious and that actually watch One Piece? They're going to hate it. They're going to hate it because they don't want it to be that fucking crazy. And it makes no sense to me, personally, because it's like, well, One Piece has always been crazy. What did you really expect? Did you expect, you know, the story to be serious when we have such wacky, goofy powers? Like, the main character is somebody made out of rubber. That realistically makes no sense. If you were made of rubber, you would have either not been able to move or just be flimsy based off of our real world logic. Like, it's just not realistic. Being made out of rubber and having blood and organs and all these things still all be rubber. Like, these things just don't make no sense. The story's always been goofy, wacky. It's just a lot of you guys weren't looking at it that way. That's the sad truth. But yeah, my theory goes as this. Blackbeard must inherit the will of Rocks. There is inherited will. We know this. Rocks stated that he would be back. He never came back. He stated he would be back and fight IMU. What did Whitebeard say? Wills will be inherited. It's all been stated from the beginning. From the beginning of Marineford, when Whitebeard said that, it's pretty much all been perfectly in line right now with the story. It all makes sense. There's no like real inconsistencies that you can really find. Maybe something small, but it's all there. It's all been laid out. When Whitebeard said it, wills will be inherited. Blackbeard is inheriting Rock's will. Look at all the moves Blackbeard has made. I mean, just looking at his ship is literally known as Zebek's saber. Zebek had a lot of knowledge that we don't know about. Blackbeard also seems to have this very same knowledge. We don't understand how. We don't know if Blackbeard's mom is dead, right? Somebody could have told Blackbeard what he needed to do. What needed to happen. The books. Maybe something was left for him by Rocks. Same way how Odin made a journal. We don't know if Rocks was a writer. He could have left everything there for Blackbeard. Gave it to his wife. And his wife gave it to Blackbeard. It's a possibility. Once we realize that Blackbeard has inherited Rocks' will, we will know he will now pick up the pieces. Names his ship Zebek's Saber. Takes over the same island his dad took over. Seems like he's just missing one thing. The devil fruit Rocks said he needed. And what was that devil fruit? We don't know. But I believe it to be Blackbeard's devil fruit currently. The one he has right now. I'm not talking about Whitebeard's devil fruit. I'm not talking about the Tremor no me, baby. I'm talking about darkness, no. That fruit he needed. I believe it's for that reason that I say. To gain the power to become king of the world. That is Blackbeard's inherited will. King of the world. That's why he is the way that he is. To take vengeance upon the world for taking away his father. It makes perfect sense. He's taking the vengeance that his father desired. He's taking the role, the position, sitting down. And what does Rock say? No authority can be at the top forever. It's gonna happen. And Blackbeard is gonna be the king of the world. It will happen. I believe his dream will happen. For how long will he be the king of the world? I don't know. But he will become king of the world. It will happen. He will take over IMU. And when it happens, it's going to be very, it's going to be a weird day. A lot of people are going to hate it. A lot of people are not going to like this. But it's going to happen. Sorry, guys. I've already predicted it. Sorry, Oda. I ruined One Piece for you. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I've declared it so. I've declared it so. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry, guys. Blackbeard is gonna become the king of the world. It will happen. That will be how Pirates versus Pirates will end the show. It's always been a Pirates versus Pirates show. It's never been a Marines versus Pirates show. Never. It's gonna be that way. Look at Imu's goal right now. We don't know what his goal is, but it seems to be stopping Nika and stopping Loki. Stopping Luffy and Loki. He needs to deal with them. Wouldn't it be funny if Blackbeard came or waited at Mary Joas? I think he's probably going to come. Potentially, it's possible. And he's going to absorb Imu or take his powers. It's very possible. Could be very, very wrong. But again, it just makes no sense. Unless Blackbeard gets a super giga buff, I just don't see how he's going to beat Luffy. Right now, Luffy is looking like he's going to be able to destroy the world by the end of the series by himself. Very casually. So, I'll leave you guys with that. Blackbeard will be king. But not for long. But he will be king. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been your boy, The Wise Infinity. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces. Bye-bye.